well. So if anybody needs access to the audio and video afterwards, we can get that over to you as well. So maybe let's start with Troy. Coach, it's been a long time coming to get into the playoffs here. What's it mean to yourself and to your group to get into the Calder Cup playoffs for the first time?
Well, I think, from a franchise perspective, obviously it's been a long time coming. And, we've had a few good teams here along the way that obviously the pandemic certainly, prevented us from playing in playoffs, but this group, obviously, I think it means a lot to the players and us as a coaching staff that we're able to get it done and get it done the hard way, quite frankly, because our division is certainly, from a points percentage perspective, is toughest in the league. And, we've been pretty much battling for a playoff position since February 1st. So if you look at our record, I think we're 25-11-4 since the clock turned February. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's got to be one of the best, certainly best records in the league here in the last 3 months of hockey.
Thanks, Coach. Logan, what about yourself? It's not your first trip to the playoffs, but as the leader of this group, what does it mean for you to get to the postseason?
Yeah, it's obviously very special. I mean, that's why we play hockey, is to win. And the only way to do it is to make the playoffs and try to host that cup at the end of it. For us, it's all about, we've been playing playoff hockey now for the last 2 or 3 months with, how tight everything is in our division. But for us, it's about making sure our whole team, and as a leadership group, it's about making sure our whole team is pulling in the right direction. Our message to the players is basically, we have to pull the rope the same way. If you have one guy pulling the opposite way, it's not going to work. And this 2 out of 3 series for us is, it's quick. You lose one game, you're behind the 8 ball, but playoffs is the best time of the year. And it's all about going in there Wednesday night with the mindset of, get the job done. And then after that, it's to go back, Friday night and get that job done. Every night, it's just about, getting that win. And it's not about points anymore. It's just about making sure that you're there to get the win. And, if you lose a game, if you lose the first game, and then it's all about the second game. And for us, it's just to make sure that we're mentally prepared to, each and every night to be in the fight, and to make sure we're pushing the play, to make sure we're playing our way, and not getting stuck in the ruts of playing, like, sometimes we get a couple of games this year, we get caught playing in the opponent's hands. But for us, it's just about making sure we're prepared as a team, and that's what we're here as a leadership group to do.
Breanne, I guess from the front office standpoint, it's a pretty big moment for this franchise as well. What does it mean from, I suppose, the business side of things and growing this franchise together?
Oh yeah, it's huge for us from a community perspective to be able to, be building that community throughout Belleville and the Bay of Quinte. It's gigantic for us to be able to bring the playoffs here and to be able to have that level of hockey here. This is something we've been working on for years, and from a business perspective, it's added value for our corporate partnerships that have stuck with us all these years, and all of our season ticket holders and different stakeholders that we have in the community. And it's just an opportunity for us to really celebrate, having this level of hockey here in Belleville, to be able to, have the AHL right here in the Bay of Quinte, and to be able to really, engage with that, and have the players have this. And we have so much faith and pride in our team, and in Troy and the coaching staff and everything that they do, and really the development of these players. And as they're working through this season, they've fought so hard for this. So we're just so excited to be able to celebrate that here in Belleville on Friday night.
We don't have a microphone in the crowd here, but we'll go to phone questions. If you want to go first.
I was just going to do some more.
Do you have anything for now?
Yeah, just from a team standpoint, you guys have been so strong on the road this year, and you're starting game 1 in Rochester. Do you think that plays into your advantage, Troy or Logan, for the team's success in a series like this?
I don't think so personally, but because it's a new season, and it's one game. But I think our approach has to be very positive in terms of how we played on the road. I mean, we had 21 wins on the road, and again, I don't have the stats in front of me, but one of the top road teams in the league. When you start looking at the Chicago Wolves and those type of teams that had more than 20 wins on the road. So that I think it's an extreme positive for us, the ability to play on the road, but it's one game, and both teams will be ready. I'm not worried about our game Wednesday night. It's just a matter of executing and getting it done. And that's all we really care about, quite frankly.
Yeah, I would say it's more of a bonus that we had a good road here. I wouldn't say it's an advantage. It's nice to have in the back of your mind that you get down 1 or 2 goals, it's okay. We can still come back from it. We don't have to be pretty on the road, but it's quick. 2 out of 3 is going to go real quick, and it's just a big game for us Wednesday. Yeah.
All right, so for those who are watching on Zoom right now, if you're able to raise your hand, we will get to you for further questions. Those at the table, you might just have to unmute that phone there so you can hear the reporters' questions coming through. Perfect. All right, let's give this a try. All right, Patrick Williams, AHL.com, you're up.
Yeah, Troy, this is for you. For Belleville fans who've never experienced Calder Cup playoffs, you've won a cup, you've been through long runs. What can they expect from this level of hockey at this time of the year?
From a playing perspective, I mean, this is why, I've preached all along how important playoffs are to our development of our prospects. We've been in playoff mode for 3 months, but at the same time, like the intensity will be even more on Wednesday night. And there's, as I've said to the players, there's no room for error. So sometimes during the course of a hockey game, players, maybe wean away from the game plan, or not necessarily make the best decisions with whether it's with the puck or those things. It's under scrutiny now, because that could end up in the back of your net, and you're basically the season is life or death. Before you're hitting the off season. So I think it's a critical time of year. I think it's an exciting time of year, and I suspect the Belleville fans that come to watch on the weekend will be impressed with the intensity and the physicality of playoff hockey, because everybody steps up their games, and both lineups are at full strength. You're not getting a game in January where there's injuries and recalls, and it's full strength for both Rochester and Belleville. So on top of that, with the intensity of playoff hockey, to me, the product is second to none.
Pat, do you have a follow-up?
Yeah, just, what sort of challenge does Rochester present, especially in such a short series?
Well, I mean, Rochester, I do believe that 2 things: they live off transition, and their power play is as good as it gets at this level. And, for us, much like our games against Toronto, we've talked a lot about working away from the puck and preventing transitional play, and staying disciplined, to keep their power play under 4 opportunities per game. I think, we got one of the best penalty kills in the league. I think we finished 6th or 7th in the league. So it's been one of our mainstays all year. And I suspect it'll be the same in playoffs. But you can't be killing 6 or 7 or 8 penalties against Rochester. They're too skilled and too good. And but I think when our team is playing to its identity, I think we're very frustrating to play against. And so that's what we anticipate on Wednesday night. But again, I think their strengths, even with their additions of Samuelson, Fitzgerald, and Krebs, certainly that improves their defense. And Krebs obviously isn't a skilled player that's going to add to their dynamic up front. So But I don't think it's gonna all of a sudden change how their DNA of their team, which is transitional play and power play.
Let's move on. We'll come back around if there are more questions after we've gone through. Let's go to Bruce Garriock at Post Media.
Hey, Troy, just in 2020, Philip Gustafson didn't get that opportunity to kind of go down the stretch and battle it out for playing time with Joey Decord. How good will this experience be for him now? But I should ask you too, is Sogard healthy?
Sogard skated this morning, so we're going to see where that takes us here over the next 48 hours. I quite frankly, I haven't had an update, but he was on the ice today, which is a step in the right direction. But then we'll see where things go tomorrow on Wednesday. As far as Gus goes, I think it's a great opportunity, and it's just another layer of his development. He was fantastic here down the stretch. I thought as good of performances we had Saturday afternoon, I thought he was our best player, and he made some acrobatic saves at key times, and that's what you need. And whether it's the NHL playoffs or the AHL playoffs, goaltending obviously is the key position. And just in listening to Gus over the last few weeks, I think he's a motivated hockey player and is really excited about getting the opportunity, because he's been here as long as longer than I have, because he came in the first year of the franchise at the end of the year, and he's never made playoffs. Now I do believe that the second and third year of our relationship was pandemic, due to the pandemic. So I think he's looking forward to the challenge and the opportunity Wednesday night.
Logan, can I just ask you what it will mean for those young players in their development to go through this kind of situation? Because, as I said to Troy earlier, they didn't get this opportunity in 2020 and they were poised for the playoffs. But what will it mean for them?
I think Troy said it best when I first met him last year, was that in order to develop players, you have to win. And the only way to win is to get to make the playoffs. And, that's step one. But step two now is being able to push through and go through this grind that's both mental and physical, challenging for over the next, hopefully, 2 months. So I think for these young guys, they might notice it more later on in their career, but now is where it starts, is that this is how you become a better hockey player. This is where your career could be defined. If you look at all the big names in the NHL, most of them have gone through long playoff runs, have won Stanley Cups, or have been right there, on the cusp of winning one. But that's how you get remembered. That's how you get known. That's how you make your name. And that's how you earn contracts. And I think these young guys, and that's how you earn roster spots in Ottawa. These guys are still fighting for spots in Ottawa, whether it's next year or the year after. It's all about developing as a player, but this is really how you kind of learn how to be a true playoff player, which is basically a good team player, a good teammate. If you make it far in playoffs, your team's doing the right things, and it's not necessarily because one guy has 10 goals in the playoffs, but it's because everyone's pulling that rope the same way, as I said before. But we're a motivated team right now. We're excited. We still have a lot to prove. I think we finished the year off well, but we do have a young team, and it's going to be a challenging playoff run for us. But I think we have the motivation, and we have the guys in here that are looking forward to doing it.
Can I just ask one small housekeeping note? How come you're starting on the road?
The question, but Bruce, just before I answer that question, I just wanted to follow up on
Okay, yeah.
Shazi with the development of the players, and I just go from my experience with the Washington Hershey model, that the Hershey Bears went to the Calder Cup 5 times and won 3 cups and lost in the finals twice before the Washington Capitals won the Stanley Cup in 2018. And there was 14 players that raised the cup in Vegas that I had the opportunity to coach. And there was some that went through with the Bruce Boudreau era and the Bob Woods era that were on that team as well. So, that to me is the prime example of why playoff hockey is so important. And I go to Tampa Bay. Norfolk Admirals, under John Cooper, won the Calder Cup, and that's when Tampa, became a power.
Oh, can't hear you.
Bruce, can you hear me?
Not very well, no.
Just trying to get the technical difficulties out of the way here. Can you hear me now?
All good now. Yep.
Okay, so where was I in that answer on the development of the players? How much did you get out of that? Do I have to repeat?
You
my
were
whole
talking
question,
about,
my whole
you were
answer?
talking about how Tampa's team developed as well under John Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, that I think people underestimate. Yeah, there's some elite talent that maybe can skip the American League playoffs and still be bona fide NHLers, but if you look at the teams that do it right, Tampa Bay, John Cooper, if you look at that team, I was in the American League at that time, when they went through and won the Calder Cup, and then John got his opportunity in Tampa, and slowly that team became a powerhouse, and obviously they've won Stanley Cups back to back. And if you didn't hear my original with the Washington Capitals when I was there, I spent 8 years there with that model, and they went to the Calder Cup 5 different times, won 3 cups, 2 losses in the finals. And the amount of players that went through that system that helped win the Stanley Cup in 2018, it took a long time. It took over 10 years, from the time Ovechkin was drafted, for them to get to the Stanley Cup and win it. But to me, it was through the development of the amount of players that went through Hershey that supplemented that lineups from the Ovechkins and the Backströms of the world. So to me, getting our young guys through hopefully a long playoff run will benefit the Ottawa Senators with the Shabbies and the Norrises and the Bathersons here 2-3 years from now, when maybe they're challenging for a Stanley Cup.
And just the other thing that I had asked though was just for why you're starting on the road.
Yeah, that's a league question. I mean, it does go by mileage,
Okay.
and quite frankly, my wife asked me the same thing last night. She goes, what's the home ice advantage when you got to play a best of 3 and the first game is on the road? Shouldn't it be 2 in Belleville? And then if there's a third game, maybe? I said, I don't know what the right answer is, quite frankly, but it is a distance thing. That's out of my league, but it does make it difficult, quite frankly, because, we worked hard to finish third, and unfortunately we missed it by a couple percentage points, and now we got to start on the road. But I guess the fact that we were a good road team and comfortable on the road, we'll see where it takes us. But it's a fabulous question, Bruce. Maybe our vice president can answer that.
Somewhat. Yeah, so basically just based on geographical location was how the schedule was made up. So if it was under 300 miles, there would be, it was a 2-1, 1-2, 1-1-1. And then if it was over 300, then it was 1-2, with the home ice advantage being the majority of games. So that was how in this situation, we ended up starting on the road and then being able to have the weekend games here at home.
If there are further questions, again, if you can raise your hand via Zoom, we'll go to Joel Vanderland at BellevilleSens.com.
Hi, this is for Logan. How much can you lean on guys like Clark Bishop and Dylan Hetherington through the Calder Cup playoffs? Just kind of going off their pedigree of lifting the Calder Cup and just kind of helping you in that way with the younger prospects.
Yeah, I mean, they've been a big part of us all year. The way they play, they play the game the right way. They don't cheat it. They work hard every shift. I think that alone is going to be a big role for our younger guys, but also having the pedigree that they do and the history that they do of playing in the playoffs. I think we'll obviously take it to the next level. But in saying that, it's following what they do. It's following their play on the ice. They're obviously great leaders in the dressing room, but they've been there, they've been through it. They went to battle with some good teams, and as they were saying today, it's not easy, but it is fun, and that's what we play for. We play to win, and we play to have fun. And even myself, I've never made it to a finals in any league, so I'll be following those guys as well.
And just do you feel things are kind of getting back to normal? The crowds have been quite substantial at home, and even the fans taking the bus trip down to Toronto. Can you kind of feed off that electricity, and do you feel things are kind of getting back to normal now?
Yeah, I think Saturday afternoon's game was probably my most enjoyable game I've played in the last 2 years. I think the crowd that we had here, I think this rink could get rocking in the playoffs so we can get some people in the seats. I think the front office did a great job, with the fan appreciation day on Saturday. And, obviously we do appreciate the fans here. I think it's above and beyond what you might realize what a good crowd can do for the home team. And, hopefully Friday night we can carry that over when we come back here. But Saturday was a lot of fun. I mean, the crowd was into it. It was loud. It was full, and it was just a lot of fun and uplifting on the bench.
Thank you.
Again, we'll go around second round. If you have questions, you can raise your hand. Let's go back to Patrick Williams, AHL.com.
Yeah, this is for Breanne. What would a long playoff run do in terms of really helping kind of cement this team as part of Belleville and the sports scene there?
Yeah, so I mean, we have fantastic season ticket holders here. We have a great season ticket holder base, and we've really kind of over the last couple of years kind of gotten it down to our core supporters. But there's nothing like a long playoff run to get all of the people that are on the outskirts or outsides, getting them to jump on board and become part of our Belleville Sens family. We, from a business perspective, it's huge in terms of revenue generation and our ability to, increase our 50-50 and make even more donations back into the Bay of Quinte community as well. But just to be able to, get that buy-in from the community and really be able to get that regional buy-in from everyone around, and, having them want to be part of our team. We have worked so much on our game presentation and different things that we have going on in the arena that, just add to the phenomenal talent and skill level that is on the ice. And so I think, it will be huge for us and, our season ticket renewals and different things like that. But just to get more people in the building to see, the level of hockey that we have here and the level of talent and the commitment from, the coaching staff and the players and just everyone involved, I think is really, really important for this community.
Thank you.
Anybody else? We'll do last call for questions. All right, if that's it, thank you everyone for coming. Again, if you need a copy of the recording, just reach out to me, footd@bellevillesens.com. We can get you that and anything else that you might need throughout the playoff run. Thanks everyone for coming, and we'll see you soon.